All right, good morning, everybody. Once again, no trades yesterday, so I'm sorry, but no video. But did hit a bunch of trades today in one of my better days in quite some time. So excited to break it down in this video. Let's go, let's trade. Okay, so first trade of the day was here on GSIT, one of the big movers of the day. You can see it alerting here on my scanner to my right with a huge number alert up into the 150s. So this thing is hitting big time here. It is a lower priced one, and I'm watching it here, looking to see if it can get up through the 235s, which was the previous high, and probably really looking up through 240 at that point to go ahead and get started on this one. I looked at the daily chart, didn't look too threatening, so I decided this was one that I could potentially be looking to get some good size into. So if we do make that move up into the 240s, probably looking to start this one with 300 shares here. So watching the ask here, you can see it coming up to that 240 mark, but I'm looking for the ask to push up through 240 before I go ahead and get in on a move up towards that 250 level. There's the breakthrough 240. I click the button and I get the fill there for 300 shares short at an average of just a little bit over 242, getting some fills at different prices there with those 300 shares. But I'm in here. We'll see if it can make a move back down into the 220s would be what I would need here to start looking to take profit on this 300 shares. Otherwise, I was kind of looking at it and saying, I did front run the 250 here, but if it wants to break that 250 and then do one of those kind of fake breaks where it doesn't get a lot of strength going on as it makes that move through the big $half number, I may look to add not too far over that 250 mark. So it is coming up towards 250 there. There makes the move, but it's not pushing through higher. So I go ahead and add in another 300 shares up there at 252. So now I have 600 shares short at an average of 247 here. And we'll see if we can get this to start moving back to the downside in my direction. I'll probably get ready for 400 of my 600 shares here, depending on what it wants to do. Ideally, see this thing come down to or below the 230s. It gets close to 230 there. I decide to take the 400 shares off there at 233, 234. And so I've locked in a little bit of profit here of $48, and I still have 200 shares left over in case this thing wants to crash back down to 2 here. But you never know. Maybe it wants to continue to the upside and be adding back in. And that's exactly what it does. So it comes up here towards 270. I add in another 200 shares there. I think I got those at 265. So now I have 400 shares again here. And then boom, here's the big move. Here's the big move. And this is where I start hitting it. Add in another 400 shares here as it moves up into the 280s. Now I have 800 shares short at an average of 264. And really, other than the fact that it's trying to halt here, I'm willing to add on this one up to and through the threes with some big share size on this one because this felt like a really good opportunity to me. So I want to make sure I get in some decent share size. But as it is now, I'm in 800 shares at an average of 264. Be looking for a move back down towards the 250s on this 800 shares if I'm going to be looking to take profit here on this one. So it definitely flirted with that halt price there, but then it starts coming down here. So I'm like, okay, we'll see what it does. The halt price probably going to start moving up now because we've maintained this price level for a little bit of time. So it's either going to move up towards the threes and I can look to smash some more, or it's going to come back down towards that 250 level and I'll look to start taking it off. And boom, there's a nice move real quick down towards 250. I take 600 of my 800 shares off. I've now locked in $116 on this trade, still 200 shares left. Looking for if this thing wants to make the nice crash down through this 250 level here. So I was watching 250 here, really hoping it was going to make a nice crash through 250, but you can see all the volume here at 250, and 250 is just not cracking. So I had to go ahead and take another 100 shares off there just to lock in a little bit more in case this 250 is the bounce point. Still leaving myself with 100 shares here on GSIT if it does want to make the bigger move down through the 250 level. But if you watch the level 2, it gets down into the high 240s, but doesn't really come down further. We still got a lot of volume coming in. It's not pushing it down. It's not really bringing the ass down much with it. So I'm like, okay, we start moving back up into the mid 250s here after this move. It's bouncing right off the VWAP. I'll probably just look to cover the rest of my shares here and call it a day here on GSIT. So watching level 2, you can see it bounce into the mid 250s there. I go ahead and just take that remaining 100 shares off, and I'm all out here on GSIT for $137 gain. So not too bad. Definitely could have been better, but you know what? I'll definitely take it with how this week has been. So a bit later on, it's Netflix making a move, and you can see it's bounced up about 4 points or so in the last couple minutes. So I decided to go ahead and put 50 shares out here at 347.40. So I'm in 50 shares short here at 347.40 on Netflix, figuring this thing probably has a good chance of reversing when the market turns over. The market was popping a little bit right here. Actually comes up a little bit more, and I put out another 50 shares up 1 point higher at 348.40. So I was hoping to get another 50 shares in 1 full point higher here, but unfortunately got up to like 348.20, so it didn't quite get up there and fill me with those 50 shares, didn't get me in there. And then as it's coming back down, I'm watching 347. I'm like, okay, I'm not really in up at the top here. I didn't get my ad in, so I'll probably just cover this one out if we get on under 347 here. Give it a second, see what it wants to do. Comes under 347, but not with any huge speed, so I just take the whole thing off there, really before I would like to, but add in a little $22 gain to the day, so I guess it's fine. No big deal. We'll move on. So moving on was then to the hugest mover of the day, which was SPRY. I was watching it here as it popped towards 8, looking to see what it did here at 8. It's failing to really pop up through 8, so I put 200 shares out at 8, and I get the fill right there for 200 shares at $8 here on SPRY, just because it made a kind of a fake break there up through that big whole dollar number. So just looking to see if I can get a little bit of a move back to the downside here, maybe 20 cents or so. Back down to 780 would be a nice move here. And there, boom, there it is, quickly down to 780. I just click the button and take the fill and get a quick $40 win there on SPRY. This one was a little sketchy, is the big mover of the day. I didn't want to be too chancy with it, so just taking the quick win there. And then it's actually going to make an even bigger move, but this one was even sketchier, I thought, so I go ahead and get a short here. 200 more shares at 871, but it's again flirting with the halt there with a ton of volume. So after I got in, and it came down immediately off of that kind of fake halt level. I was like, you know what? I'm just taking this one. This one seems like this one could be a potential huge runner. So I'm just going to take off another tiny little win here, add another $16 or so to my day. And now I'm up over $200 on the day. And for a Friday on a week where I had several no trade days, I definitely cannot complain about that here on SPRY to close it out. So that's going to do it for me. Pretty good trading day. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video. If you're interested in using the scanner that I use to find all of these high probability reversal setups, make sure you check the link down in the description below for the Intensity Stock Watch scanner. Use code GDTISW in that link. You'll get 20 to 30% off of your subscription every single month. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.